Friends, what happened when parents gave their beautiful young daughter a tickling punishment for going on a walk? And then what happened next shocked everyone. So make sure to watch the video till the very end. And if you're new to the channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Jessica had only one thought in her mind. She wished she hadn't lied to her parents. She told them she was going to her friend Jenny's house, but instead, she went to watch a scary old movie. Her parents would never approve of that. When she came home, she felt like she had been caught. Jessica, her father, Mr. Thomas, said in a calm but firm voice, "We know where you went." Jessica's heart skipped a beat. She lowered her head. Her mother, Mrs. Thomas, walked toward her and caressed her cheek. "We have to punish you," Mrs. Thomas said. But there was no anger in her voice, only sadness. Jessica thought she might lose her phone for a week, or maybe be told to cook dinner. But what they said was beyond her imagination. "Tonight," Mr. Thomas said, "you'll have to walk through the woods behind the house at midnight. And if you get scared, we'll give you the tickling punishment." Jessica looked at them. Tickling punishment? What kind of punishment was that? That wasn't even a punishment. She laughed. "Yes, tickling punishment," Mrs. Thomas said with a smile. "On your weakest spots, until you cry." Jessica's laughter stopped. She knew her parents were experts when it came to tickling. She couldn't even imagine how much she would laugh and scream. She laughed at the thought, but a strange kind of fear gripped her. This was a strange game. Midnight arrived. The clock struck 12 and Jessica opened her window. It was dark outside. The moon was hidden behind the clouds. Mr. Thomas handed her a flashlight. "Remember," he said, "if you get scared, then tickling." Jessica took the flashlight and stepped into the woods behind the house. It felt like she had walked into a horror movie. The air was eerily silent. The leaves rustled as if someone was whispering. She kept walking. The flashlight only showed a few feet ahead. Jessica thought she heard whispering behind her. She turned back, but no one was there. Maybe it was just her imagination. Suddenly, she heard a strange sound, like someone stepping on a dry twig. She froze. She moved the flashlight around, but nothing was there. Her heart was pounding hard. She was terrified. Jessica thought about running back, but she knew if she returned scared, she would face the tickling punishment. That would be even worse. She knew her parents would really tickle her, and she'd laugh so much her stomach would hurt. She decided to move forward. Suddenly, the flashlight battery started to weaken. The light flickered. Darkness was taking over. Jessica's fear grew stronger. "Mom! Dad!" She tried to scream, but her voice caught in her throat. She felt someone put a hand on her shoulder. She screamed loudly. "Tickling!" a voice said. It was her father's voice. Mr. and Mrs. Thomas stepped out from behind a tree, laughing. "So you got scared," Mr. Thomas said, laughing. "Now for the tickling punishment." Jessica tried to run back, but Mrs. Thomas grabbed her. They both started tickling her. Jessica laughed, cried, and screamed. It was truly a terrifying punishment. Suddenly, Mr. Thomas stopped laughing. His eyes widened. "What is that?" he whispered. Jessica and Mrs. Thomas stopped tickling. Mr. Thomas pointed the flashlight toward a tree. Something was written there. "Sorry, Jessica," it read, "but now you're alone." The voice wasn't her father's. Jessica's heart sank. "What is this?" Mr. Thomas whispered. He moved the flashlight higher, but there was nothing there. Just a strange sound. "Dad, what is it?" Jessica asked in a trembling voice. Mr. Thomas dropped the flashlight. It broke. Now there was only darkness. "Let's go home," Mrs. Thomas said. There was fear in her voice. They all started running. But Jessica felt like someone was chasing them. She turned back. In the darkness, she saw nothing. But she felt something was moving toward her. "Mom! Dad!" Jessica screamed. No answer came. Both of them had disappeared. Jessica was alone, in that terrifying forest where every shadow felt like a threat. She kept running. She was exhausted, but she couldn't stop. She knew if she stopped, something terrible would happen. She ran until she reached the house. She opened the door. Inside, it was dark. She thought her parents must be waiting for her inside. But they weren't there. Suddenly, someone touched her back. Jessica screamed in fear. "Tickling!" a voice said. It was Mr. Thomas. He and Mrs. Thomas were sitting in the living room laughing. "What happened?" Mrs. Thomas asked, laughing. "Why did you get so scared?" Jessica looked at them. "Where were you?" she asked, trembling. "I was alone. I thought someone was chasing me." Mr. and Mrs. Thomas looked at each other. "We were right here," Mrs. Thomas said. "We were watching you." "No," Jessica said. "You weren't. You disappeared. And someone touched my back." They looked at each other again. The laughter disappeared from their faces. "Jessica," Mr. Thomas said, "we don't know what you're talking about." We were here. Jessica's mind spun. Was it just her imagination? Or was it something else? Were her parents just scaring her for the tickling punishment? But when she closed her eyes, she remembered that whisper and that hand on her back. It was real. And she knew her parents were hiding something more than just a tickling punishment. This story ends with one question. Was it just a punishment or something more? Was Jessica really alone? Or was there someone else watching her? Jessica lay in her room, but sleep was far away. The same scene kept replaying in her mind. That hand that touched her back, that whisper mimicking her father's voice. Her parents said they were there, but her heart knew it wasn't true. This wasn't just a game. It was something else. The next morning, she quietly walked into the kitchen. On the floor, she noticed a small, muddy footprint. It didn't look like her father's shoes, nor her mother's. It looked sharp, like a claw. Jessica's suspicions grew deeper. Her parents were hiding something, and she would find out what. At midnight, when the house was silent, Jessica grabbed her flashlight and sneaked out the back door. She went to the same spot where everything happened the previous night. The broken flashlight was still lying there. She shined her light on the tree where the words were written. "Sorry, Jessica, but now you're alone." But the words were gone. Instead, her eyes noticed a strange carving on the tree bark, a swirling symbol, like a snake eating its own tail. It looked like an ancient symbol. Suddenly, she heard footsteps behind her. She quickly turned off the flashlight and hid behind a bush. She saw her parents. They were walking slowly toward the tree. They weren't talking to each other. They were whispering into the air. The whispers were in a strange language, filled with odd sounds. It wasn't human. Jessica trembled. Were her parents summoning someone or banishing someone? As they whispered, Jessica noticed a strange glow in their eyes, like animals glowing in the dark. Her fear was beyond control. When they stopped, Mr. Thomas placed his finger on the symbol carved into the tree. The symbol began to glow. It was so strange Jessica thought she was dreaming, but it wasn't a dream. "What are you doing?" Jessica said, mustering her courage as she stepped out from behind the bush. Mr. and Mrs. Thomas were startled. The glow in their eyes vanished. "Jessica," Mrs. Thomas said nervously. "What are you doing here?" "No," Jessica said. "You tell me what you're doing." "What was that whispering? Whose hand touched my back? What are you hiding from me?" Mr. Thomas took a deep breath. "All right," he said. "You have the right to know. This wasn't a punishment, Jessica. It was a test." "A test?" Jessica said. Mrs. Thomas stepped forward and hugged her. "We're members of a secret society," she said. "Our job is to protect this forest and this town from an ancient dark shadow. That shadow feeds on fear. Last night," Mr. Thomas continued, "we sent you into the woods on purpose to see if you could face your fears. We wanted to know how brave you are. When you turned back and didn't run away, we knew you were ready." "That voice, it wasn't my imagination," Jessica said. "And that hand?" "No," Mr. Thomas said. "That was real. The shadow was among us. We made those voices to distract it so it would leave us